I don't give a fuck if I got Tourette syndrome.
That's a
I'm
fact.
gonna say what the fuck I want, and I'm gonna say the most vulgar shit I can say when I see black people on stage.
You are on record consistently saying that you acknowledge how your Tourette shows up. You don't go into spaces, or you are nervous to go into spaces because you understand how your Tourette's show up. So why'd you go?
Volume 2.
Yeah. This is our show. Yeah. Introspective Insight. Introspective Insight.
Caucasians is gonna go Caucasian.
That's a fact.
They're gonna do what they want, when they want, how they want, and they're just gonna Caucasian. And I'm gonna just jump into it. Who cares that you? No, no, let me not say that way. No, I am gonna say it that way. I don't give a fuck if I got Tourette syndrome.
That's a
I'm
fact.
gonna say what the fuck I want, and I'm gonna say the most vulgar shit I can say when I see black people on stage, and I know this is their moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm gonna come in your award show, and I'm gonna do it numerous of times, not just once. I'm gonna do it several times, and nobody gonna get me out of here or say anything about it. That's just how I feel.
You know, you just jump right into it, and I think that was one of the first things that I wanted to talk about, because if y'all don't know, well, y'all already know because it's been going all through social media, and I've been holding my tongue because one of the things I like to do is listen to as many takes as I can, as much as I can consume all of the time that I'm on social media, because I'm not like chronically on social media. And one of the first things that I uh one of the first things that I thought about when John Davidson, whatever that man name is, John Davidson, uh said it was, wow, where have you heard like use that word? Right. And then it comes out that there is a specific form of Tourette's that
Correct. Yeah.
causes you to say racially
Vulgar shit.
insensitive things, and more vulgar and things of that nature. And then I see people in the Tourette's community, specifically black people with Tourette's, come out and say like, yeah, you can't control it, but their form of Tourette's is way more Tourette'san than John Davis,
Nigger.
right? And it's only when you're seeing black people, right? Now they did say that he said like a PDF file and all of that stuff before he like eventually like left. I want to put this on wax that I do not care if you have Tourette's. I don't care. We don't care as a collective. Why? Because Tourette's doesn't minimize the impact, which most people have said, right? Minimize the impact of that word being used in that way when you are identifying people of African American descent in particular. Now, the BBC, the Great Brits and the Brits and all them over there, they have a very high tolerance for racism, as that's how their society has socialized them people over there, including black and brown people. However, they are not directly connected to chattel slavery. So, because they are not directly connected to chattel slavery, there is a disconnection on why it should not be tolerated at a high level, right? So when we come into the room, first of all, I didn't even know Delroy Lindo was British. When they said like one African American and then one, at least one African American on stage, I thought Delroy was Black American. I didn't know he was Black Brit, but I digress. Um, One of the things, and the reason why I say I don't care about your Tourette's, is because you are on record consistently saying that you acknowledge how your Tourette shows up. You don't go into spaces, or you are nervous to go into spaces because you understand how your Tourette's show up. So why'd you go? It's similar to
Good question.
it's similar to the Delroy Lindo the So Say It skit, right? So why'd you go? If you knew and know you have premeditation of how your Tourette's shows up, why did you go knowing that there will be black people on that stage at some point in the night? You put yourself in that predicament for John Davison's side, because I got something for the BBC and BAFTA. I got words for them too. I don't care about your Tourette's. I'm a youth worker, and a lot of the times when you're in schools, they use IEPs in the same ways that they are using Tourette's and disability. Oh, well, they have this, so they couldn't have understood. Oh, well, they have that, but they couldn't have controlled themselves. BS. Ain't no way. Nope. We control our own behavior. Unless you are in a or identified as an individual with disabilities to which it affects your competencies, your faculties, and your ability to make decisions by yourself. Emotional disturbance as a classification or a disability is not something that can't be dealt with by the person who has been diagnosed with it. ADHD is not something that forces you to do things that are out of your control. Tourette's, while there is elements of Tourette's to which you can't control, what I experienced is there are particular part, at least with his Tourette's. Now, I'm not talking about other people's Tourette's because you can put Tourette's on the spectrum in the same way that you can put autism on the spectrum. There are high functioning autistic people, and then they are low to no functioning autistic people. You can put them on a spectrum in terms of how it is that they engage with society. And even with people on the higher spectrum, there are ways to engage with them, i.e., I had a kid in camp, summer camp, that was more on the nonverbal, no touch side of the spectrum. And by the end of camp, in the way that we engaged him as young, I mean, like we were still in high school young, professionals, or we had just graduated high school young. By the end of camp, he was hugging us and telling us bye. In the beginning, he was nonverbal and he didn't want to be touched. By the end, he was semi-verbal. He was saying things to us, having small conversations with us, and he would hug us goodbye. That shows that there is room for improvement and growth, even in spite of your diagnoses, right? I am no psychologist. I am no psychologist or whoever gives the diagnoses and kind of identifies what you have and whatnot. However, I have been around people long enough to understand that your diagnoses does not exclude you from responsibility. I seen somebody say this on TikTok because like I said, I like to listen to people and how they approach it. They said if you know that your child is hypersensitive, has a disability that makes them hypersensitive to sound, would you take them to a concert? The answer is no, because you know that they will be highly
Stimulated.
it's overstimulated. There you go. Your sensory is all over the place. Overstimulated by the sound. Or if you had somebody that had sensory stimulation all over the place in terms of light, would you take them to a light show? No. Would you take somebody with epilepsy to a rave? No, because there are strobe lights involved. So we have to understand that it is our human duty to make sure that we are not putting ourselves in harm's way or allowing for other people to put themselves in harm's way, right? I know we do that with, if you're allergic to shellfish, you're going to still eat shellfish because you like it. That's your prerogative, but you also are toying with your throat locking up or your eyes closing your face swelling and all those things, right? See you soon. Yeah. Come back next week. Yeah. Introspective Insight. Introspective Insight.